Thank you all for coming. This is pre-construction meeting for the Greenleaf Ave sidewalks that I think some of you have been at previous information gathering meetings, that sort of thing. So as you know, this was a project that was brought on from the community, brought to city council, and so it's taken us a little bit of time. We did the public meetings. From the public meetings, we came up with a design. We completed the design last December. Design was then sent out to bid. We have a contractor on board currently. Name is John H. Lyman and Sons. We've worked with them for the past 20 years, so they do great work for us here in Portsmouth. And so they won the bid, and they are getting ready right now to start work. So we'll just go down a couple of things here first. Here we got, introduction, sorry. Should have done that first. I'm Mark Batchelder. I'm the design engineer and project manager of this. To my right is Tyler Reese. Tyler's going to be helping me out as assistant project manager of this. We have Stephanie Seaford, our public information officer, Erica Fiedler, he's our city engineer, and Peter Rice in the back, director of public works. As you can see here, this is what we talked about last year, is building a new sidewalk all the way from South Street down on the west side of the road, Lafayette Road, coming down Greenleaf and stopping at Hillside Drive. I know in the past we talked about the lower section of Hillside Drive. One of the things that came out of the last public meeting was pressure to get at least this section done. We have some engineering issues on the next section down, but we didn't want to delay this project in order to get the sidewalk built as soon as possible. We're still looking at that lower section from an engineering standpoint. So this is what we got as part of this project. Next slide.
Oh, and just for big picture perspective too, there was a community request this past fiscal year to start looking at the South Street sidewalk. So there's one sidewalk on the side of it. So we also are looking at investigating extending that sidewalk as well. So we're doing we have a surveying contractor. So we're gonna do a little homework there to see kind of what the implications are. So just FYI that there are more sidewalk requests that would be in the community. So that's in play as well, but that's, that would be for an out year type thing.
One of the things that we did discuss at the last public meeting was during construction, we are going to see some kind of detour traffic control situation, especially when work is occurring in this section here because it's so tight. Mm-hmm. So currently we're still reviewing the traffic control plan from the contractor, but this is the current plan is when they're working on the sidewalk in this area, this lane of the road will be closed. And then we would have a road closed sign here detouring all to the bypass. So if you're in this neighborhood, you're gonna have to go during working timeframes. We'd have to go around to the bypass, and in traffic coming northbound would still be able to come up through and get out that way. And again, this is just during construction time. They'll be open to 2 lanes once at the end of each day. So, and construction hours are generally between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m.
And if we're in the area of your driveways and stuff too, that's one of those things where we'll make accommodations if you have to get in and out and stuff like that. So local traffic.
The high school traffic too, there are still the people that are muscle memory that go up there and take the tight turn. They're gonna have a discovery when they get up the hill.
That's why we're working with the Eric Evie, our traffic engineer, to come up with the right signage package to kind of discourage the people that come out of the high school up here and try to make this less.
So we have to put the message board at the high school exit.
It's something.
You can leave it there forever.
Yeah. So this is that intersection, and the big takeaway on this is that in years past we've had the striped little island bump out there to help reduce speeds.
Oh,
but what this project is doing, we will be curbing that section there, and so it'll make it essentially permanent. It won't have those plastic bollards and things like that
anymore.
Yeah. So that is part of this project, and the sidewalk's gonna come down right through here.
I'm gonna put a cam on that just so we can have some fun. People will hit it,
I know,
and I can't wait.
we're putting up delineators and things like that, and I foresee probably for a short period of time afterwards, we're probably gonna have to put up some reflective things
Think
that,
that.
yeah. Because people, like
Muscle
you said,
memory.
muscle memory, people are just gonna cut
Yeah.
right through there. Yeah. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is the preliminary schedule for, that the contractor gave us. So they're planning on mobilizing somewhere around, May first. Then the first thing that's gonna happen, there's, four or five trees that have to get removed. So their contractor will be out there removing those that first week of May. Once that's done, they're gonna start removing the old sidewalk up towards up towards the South Street, because there's no sidewalk there, but it's also the prep for the new sidewalk, so we'll be taking out any of the loam, things like that, in that next phase, between the second and third week of May. Setting curb would follow that, and that's, pretty much from the ABC buildings down. We're not touching the curb going from the ABC driveway up to South Street. And then construction of the new sidewalks should go pretty quick. That's just getting down the gravels, grading it, and then having the concrete contractor come in and place the concrete sidewalks. The one thing that I know I spoke to you about, and the one thing that we're still waiting on is there's 3 utility poles that need to get relocated, or we've put in new utility poles, the lines have to get relocated. Eversource has done that. We are working with the other 5 communications private utilities to get those relocated as soon as possible, so that those old power utility poles won't be in the way for the new sidewalk. So, and then after all of that, restoration, loam, seeding, things, and then cleaning up, all that kind of thing. So that would follow that. So we're looking at probably mid-June kind of finish.
Is there any laydown areas that Lyman needs?
They have not requested any laydown areas. I don't know of any that we really have in the neighborhood, so.
What's a laydown area?
Where they put their materials and stuff, like
Oh.
taking soil out and stuff, do they have a spot to put it?
Right,
So I'm not
okay.
sure how they're gonna manage it.
Yeah, so they're just gonna have to put it directly in dump trucks and.
I'm sure the ABC knows.
Right? Yeah.
And I think we talked a little bit earlier, Mark and I were talking with you, so if the poles don't get relocated or removed in time, those utility things, sometimes it takes a while for all the utilities to get off. If we have to, we might just have a temporary patch around them, just so people can use the sidewalk, so I think Mark was, ultimately, we pushed pretty hard on them, but there's a lot of coordination there, and sometimes it's not in our control. Other than we can nag them, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
This is our contact information, and we've got all your contact information if you sign in over there. So we will be, typically, we send out weekly updates, something like that. So those go to those that are on the email list. So I encourage you definitely to see that, because we'll send out those updates. You'll know what's going on for the week. You're gonna try to put out like a 2-week look ahead each week, so
And
because
that-
things change. But
Sorry, Mark.
Yep.
That list, the list today will get added to the project list that we have from prior meetings. So if anybody wanted to be here tonight but couldn't, but is on the list, that's great. They're still on the list. But also on the project page for this, Greenleaf Sidewalks, it's under sidewalks. There's a sign up form, so you can add your name to that email list you're gonna have.
yeah, be sure if you are interested in getting information from the city website specific to the project, that you look under the sidewalks tab, because there's other Greenleaf stuff that's up there. So don't just click on Greenleaf tab. Click on the sidewalks.
And right on the homepage, there's a banner that says seasonal construction. When you click on that, you go to a page that summarizes the active projects. And the link there to the Greenleaf page is the right one. So there's a quick summary, it gets updated all the time. And so that's probably the.
Stephanie, will this presentation be posted on that?
Absolutely. And the recording of the Zoom.
All right, and then in terms of field representatives, the city's gonna do the inspection, so Tyler or Mark will be out there most days.
Yep.
If there's construction activities, so They're the ones you wanna talk to first, rather than going through the contractor, or the contractors out there. 'Cause they can't really, the contractor has a contract, it's better to go through us if you have any questions or comments, concerns, things like that. Cool.
And then open for questions. It's gonna be a pretty short PowerPoint. But
I have a question. So I was looking out my second story window, looking at how the curbing across the street on the sidewalk kind of tapers down to the driveways and kind of envisioning that on my driveway. And I noticed my driveway kind of has a little bit more of an angle to it. And I'm like, what dictates where you're gonna angle down on it? Like, where's the sidewalk gonna end at my driveway? Where my tar is coming out, or are you gonna make your own?
pretty much in the alignment of where the sidewalk's gonna go, we'll go out, it'll be either me or Tyler, they'll mark the final location to give direction to the contractor exactly
Okay.
where it's gonna be. But generally, what we do is we find the alignment and where it comes into the driveway, we typically don't like to have that panel have an angle, so we try to square it up,
Right.
because if it's an angle, it has a tendency, it's the easier to break because of the acute angles. So we come at, we stop them at a 90-degree angle, and then there would be an asphalt, transition down to the driveway.
Okay.
Something like that,
Okay,
generally, yeah.
so we're
Yes.
coming, we're pulling into our driveway off Route 1.
Yeah.
So, speed limit.
Yeah, and
Speed limit is what it is, but you wanna get kind of out of the lane of travel so the cars aren't piling up behind you. So there is that kind of, we have a gradual, not a stop, turn and go in type thing.
yeah, so like in neighborhood, I would say in neighborhood areas, we generally start the tip down of the curb 2 to 3 feet in line. So we look at your edge of the driveway, and then we add 2 or 3 feet, and that's when we start the tip up. But with being on Route 1,
Yeah,
we're gonna widen that a little bit because we know that the speeds are different there, you're gonna have to come in at a better angle. So
Yeah.
we take that in consideration.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
we'll
it's
lay
kind
it
of-
all out.
They're pretty good about it. It's a lot of it is like a field like observation. They have to direct the contractor, make sure it goes exactly here. So
Yeah.
that's why Tyler and Mark will be out there to
Yeah.
make sure.
my driveway is fairly new, it's black. So you'll see where it is now. I mean, if you're gonna differ from that or encroach on it, just,
And
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Let me know.
ultimately, we're trying to make it safe for the public as well. ADA, all the ADA requirements and stuff to make sure those transitions are clean, the slopes are appropriate, all the other things like that. So
Yeah.
something that's.
The OCD requirements.
Talk to Mark and Tyler about that.
Okay.
You gotta see Mark's attention to detail on the drawing, so I think that's a good thing. But if you have comments, make sure catch Tyler and Mark when they're out there so that they can get any sort of preference things in there as well.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Any other questions?
Just was wondering from our last meeting with all the different viewpoints and how we should go or whatever, what was your thought process after that meeting and coming to this conclusion?
For the,
So we talked about one ways, we talked about chicanes or all these different.
so pretty much we couldn't get any consensus,
Right.
so essentially it stays as it is. So that's kind of,
It's one of those challenges, right? It's like we don't, unless there is a preponderance of consensus, right, where the community is all about it. It's hard for us to make those wholesale changes or big changes. And I think the thought is if we reestablish this sidewalk, make sure there's clean, that jut out and stuff, and we try to square that intersection up a little bit, like. Maybe there will be more consensus, like, hey, this isn't working, there's new observations to take, and maybe the community can have.
It will take things up for sure.
Yeah, and that's a thought, so this, it's like incremental, right? It's, we can't solve it all with this, because we couldn't really come to like a firm conclusion. But maybe there will be as this project progresses, or after, in the years after.
It's a bump that's gonna cause quite a tizzy, I'm sure.
That'll be good, but then we'll see what happens,
Yeah.
maybe it solves some of the problems that were happening
Oh,
there.
I love it.
But my understanding is, Peter, that this has been under discussion since you worked here, or?
Oh, yeah,
So
the
it's-
high school, Andrew Jarvis was supposedly in the enabling project that allowed us to get everybody off of Greenleaf. And then we could straighten out Greenleaf, but that, that hasn't, come about, so.
So, I mean, and that's one of those, we also as a city are trying to say like, this is how it should be type thing, so it's, a lot of it is making sure the community is on board and that we're not impressing our opinions on kind of the users of those areas and stuff. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I think this is a good one. This will at least get a nice sidewalk in place to get around. I think, like I was saying, we're looking at the South Street one as well. we have a project, we're looking at Lafayette Park and some of that area as well for drainage improvements. So I think we're working in the neighborhood and we'll be continuing to work there.
What about going past South Street down to the Two Brothers Garage? There's the old Shell station.
I'll keep like
Keeping the sidewalk on that side. Oh,
Yeah, because you have to cross at the old Lafayette School at
Yeah, I
that
don't
point
know.
here.
I haven't.
That's currently not on our radar.
Not either. Okay.
But if somebody brings it and gets it into the queue, eventually it'll get done.
Yeah, a lot of these is having formal requests from the community that this is a priority, and that type of thing, and that's why this project was funded. It was priority for the community. Council was good with it, was on board type thing, so that's one of those things where it gives an official documentation. It's not just the city or some staff anecdotally is doing something, it's defensible and it's an official request.
Any other questions?
You said the sidewalk is gonna be concrete, right?
Yes.
You don't have pictures that it might look like,
First.
I think there was one.
The one out here, maybe?
did I miss it?
That beauty right there. Ah,
Oh, okay,
And it's standard concrete, you can see them all over, any of the new sidewalks of concrete with a granite curb.
right,
Yeah.
okay, good.
I mean, the reality is we're trying to install an asset that is long lived and asphalt and other things like that, they just don't hold up. So it's better for us to put it in once and maintain a solid asset than trying to do the asphalt ones or something else that's gonna get chewed up pretty quickly, so.
while you're pulling up both sides, can you pull up the timeline again? Commit that to memory.
That'll be posted online.
Yeah,
So we don't need to get to it again.
And it's-
So
and
like
just
at the
be-
middle of, like a month from.
I guarantee it'll change.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
it's a preliminary schedule,
And the sidewalk,
Depends.
weather.
Depends on the contractor.
and it could rain, yeah,
It could
things
snow.
if there's rain.
It is rain. There's still time for me to bury my power. That's what I'm on.
And the other question has to do with winter time, I mean, the plows will come down and plow that
Yes.
sidewalk in the winter time, we'll get.
But that's why we have it, it's a city standard with.
The edge of my driveway will now get plowed by the city.
There you go.
That's why I'm sitting up front.
And that's why like some of the other technical challenges between the hillside sections too, is like trying to get the appropriate width so the sidewalk tractors can get through and stuff like that. We try to make sure it's at least 5.5 feet, if not a little bit more, just so it's not a problem, we're not hitting rock walls or causing some other damage. So,
Where will they be blowing that snow? Or are they using the plow now?
Right into your yard.
Well, I'm just wondering if the problem's going into my driveway and not staying at the end.
Yeah, right there, you've got we're putting in a grass strip between the
Yes.
curb, and so generally, that's their first point of placement is in the
You
grass
will go in the
strip.
bike lane.
What's that?
You will go in the bike lane, sort of. No one's gonna be riding a bike.
It depends on how much snow we get.
Yeah, okay. And that's
But-
dwindling, so.
Yeah, so, normally it's gonna be in that 3, 4, 5 foot grass strip first. Some of the areas we don't have grass strip on and.
We'll push it one way and it'll get pushed back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a challenge, right? I mean, the reality is like. We have to deal with the snow, it has to go somewhere, so.
Which is the road, I'll clean it up, I got a plow.
Yeah, well, this people did a couple of loadouts too, so we had to clean up, actually physically buy, get the real estate back to put the snow in, so it depends on the.
Yeah. Or shoot over the fence, that's too.
It's a challenge, try not to blow it too far into private property. right?
It's just not happening, that's all, just, I've seen the power of that, I'm like, oh, good.
Anybody online, Stephanie?
We've got a couple of people, but I'm not seeing the questions.
Sorry, I'm not the master.
Oh,
The meeting never started.
So,
Did you do, Eric?
Yes, stop share. maybe?
There's a chat.
Somebody raised their hand.
He's gonna tell you how to do it. Oh, there you go.
Oh, sure.
Jeff Brody, have a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, Mark, we're leaving and won't be back until the 13th of May. Do you need anything from me as far as a signature on any paperwork goes?
not right now, I'm still working on that,
Easement one?
yes,
Okay.
yep, So it is the easement.
We had the MOU, so I think we're good, right?
Yeah, yeah, so, I'll get together with you, when you get back.
Okay,
Anybody else with questions?
These projects, this not overly controversial. Hopefully. But we'll try to set it, like, try to not impact traffic too much. I mean, there'll be some impacts. I mean, I think the thought is we probably should work on the signage, especially high school traffic. It's a good little maybe to put our variable message boards there to really say, hey, be aware, before you turn right, and then turn left. So I think we'll do that. Do we have so that's still coming from Lyman, the traffic control plan, stuff and all that,
Yes, yep,
but we can add some extra.
we're in review of it, they've submitted it, and we're in review of it, and we're, giving them some additional feedback.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else? We have plans in the back if you want to see the actual plans themselves. It kind of goes from Lafayette down, so.
Those on the website link as well.
I
Those
think so,
will be,
yeah.
yes.
Those will be as well, yeah. But I don't think you're not posted right now, right?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It will be tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.